Hello, everybody. It's a new week and it's a new episode of Gaming Sessions where I, Tim, talk about all the topics and all the games that I've been playing throughout the week. Last week we talked about my Path of Exile addiction, and a lot of it has not gone away and I'm just still been chipping away at it. But I do feel like a slowdown of the game is coming. Although I'm gonna get into a lot of ARPGs, but that's another topic for another week. This week, if you watch some of my streams, I've been playing a lot of Yakuza Gaiden, or Like a Dragon Gaiden. And that's a series that I love, and there are a lot of games in that series that I haven't played. I played 0, 7, and 6. And most of them are more modern engines, so I could digest the systems, the combat, the mechanics a little more. But we're talking about Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, which is a continuation of 6, but a prequel to 7. So it's kind of in between those games. And the reason that I'm making this video today is I want to talk about the side missions and the subquests that Yakuza had over the years and kind of implemented and evolved throughout the series progression. In one of my streams this week, we had some downtime to do the sub-stories, and I'm liking a lot of Like a Dragon Gaiden. Everything from the Yakuza stable that is in that game is present full force, and it's a very short game, so they go quick with all the events, the story, and a lot of those sub-stories are very integral to the place, to Okinawa and Sentinbori. So it made sense why I love this game so much. It has everything that I wanted and loved about the past games and made them better. In one of my past streams, I kind of missed the sub-story tutorial part, so I was doing small task missions, and I thought that was the main submission substitute for Like a Dragon Gaiden, but I was totally wrong, and happily to be so. As I look deeper into the Akame network and how that is integral into the sub-stories and how you unlock different sub-stories, it's very connected to those smaller tasks, but it's not fully the sub-story missions that I was used to, which is why I was a little down on the task missions, but I didn't mind it because it was very quick and very doable. But the main point, let's get to the sub-stories and learn about Sentinbori and all the people around the city that are living in them. Their name NPCs that you really get to know and experience their daily lives. I had this one sub-story that was a little task mission-y where you trying to collect these golden balls, and that sub-story I haven't finished it or even got any of those collectibles, but it was a fun side story to kind of fall upon because they've kind of connected to like a funny homage to Dragon Ball, where you find these 7 balls and it'll grant you a wish, even naming Shen as a character. So those little bits of sub-stories is really the crux of why I love Yakuza games. The main stories in Yakuza and Like a Dragon games are very serious and very dark, or they can be at least. But the development team does a very good job of balancing that seriousness and the playfulness of a video game with the main story and the sub-story. The main story being like a serious Yakuza story that everyone expects, and the sub-stories is more of a creative avenue for the developers to, tell a story that wouldn't otherwise be in the Yakuza game, really. And the development team has been doing it from Yakuza 0 all the way to 7, and now. And there are a lot of memorable sub-stories from all those games. I remember Mr. Libido, the walking erection guy from 0, and how he's just iconic in the Yakuza 0. The way he moves, dances, and the way he dresses. I kind of forgot what his overall sub-story is, but that character was not forgettable at all. Also, like the race car tracks, I forgot what they call the circuit track It's like toy cars where people just race and build their own cars. And Kiryu is a very big fan of circuit racing. And in Yakuza 7, they added submissions to be more part of the combat. You had like special companions to summon from. And it is a turn-based game, which is vastly different from the action-oriented games from the past. So I felt like that made combat a different puzzle for the development team. And having the sub-stories connected with those summons was so perfect. It makes you want to do all those sub-stories to get the abilities to summon them. I just feel like there's going to be a big overhaul in how we get these summons and the combat in Yakuza, or in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. They didn't really do something about the Yakuza and Like a Dragon naming. It's freaking confusing. And even in Like a Dragon Gaiden, the sub-stories were very much on par with the last games. I've mentioned the 7 Dragon Balls before. That's not something I kind of finished, so I don't have a full knowledge on that sub-story. But starting that sub-story was cool to figure out that they found inspiration from the Dragon Ball series. Another sub-story in Like a Dragon Gaiden that I loved was this young adult trying to find courage to ask out a girl that he likes. So he asks Kiryu for help. And as the conversation keeps moving and Kiryu figures out how insecure and unconfident he feels, he uses an AI to suss out the conversation for him. So he asks the AI to help him ask out this girl. It's like Chop DDT or something like that. That's what they called it. Honestly, it's so funny how this kid doesn't realize that using that AI makes him sound so ungenuine, so robotic, and Kiryu doesn't like that fact. So he tries to get his confidence up, try to get him to ask the girl by himself without the AI's help. And by the end of it, when he uses this AI to talk to the girl, to ask her out, to ask her what her favorite things are to do, and all that just crumbled up to like a jumbled mess of a date. And it turns out that they were both using it because they didn't know what to do, really. They didn't know what to say to each other. And Kiryu kind of is there to give them a little push. Like, they don't need this technology to find each other, to have conversations, to ask someone out on a date. So those sub-stories are the bread and butter of the game, in my opinion. There are a lot I like about the game: the story, the characters, and I would say the combat, but combat is not all too interesting. Although, in Like a Dragon Gaiden, they changed it up a little bit and feels a lot smoother, I guess. That could be just how new the game is, but it does feel better. That's something I didn't feel with 0 to 6. 7 is a whole different story because it's a different layout of combat, a different system. So, and I can't wait for Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth in 2 weeks here. I think on the 26th. Yeah, in 2 weeks. I want to see more of Kiryu and Ichiban. We have not had enough of Ichiban. And I just want to see all the goofy stuff that those two can come up with. I do wish that Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth will have dual main characters. And not just splitting apart different areas of the world. I want them to be present with each other, having both of them do goofy stuff and just messing up in a way that feels impossible to fix, but they can fix together. And Ichiban and Kiryu can have some insanely funny and fun adventures that honestly I think we will see in Infinite Wealth. And it's taking place in Hawaii, which is freaking insane for a Yakuza game. Yeah, like I said, I'm insanely excited for this Yakuza game in the 26th, and I hope you guys are excited too. This video was to express my feelings on the sub-story of Yakuza games, and what brought it up really was how my initial thoughts of Gaiden was very lackluster in terms of sub stories, but that was my fault not knowing that the sub story system was tied to the Activate network and also the task missions. And that's why I thought the submissions were just those small task missions. But I was glad that I was wrong, and I made a video out of it. So yeah, so the 26th, to get excited for Yakuza Infinite Wealth. I'm really excited to see Kiryu and Ichiban and the sub stories they get up to. The main stories is what it is, and I'll be in for it either way because it's insanely entertaining. I expect to see that balance of serious main missions and joking, less serious sub stories. From the trailer I watched, the launch trailer, it is insanely goofy. Those are the things I'm excited for in Infinite Wealth. I think that is it for me this week, and thanks for joining me on gaming sessions where I just talk about random video game stuff that I played throughout the week, or topics that I thought of throughout the week. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week on the gaming session. See ya. And if you want to see all the cool video stuff that I've been doing, follow me on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, and all the updates that I'll be doing for my live streams and all my YouTube stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching.